Okay.
I live with Catherine.
Oh, do ya? Uh-oh.
What's Cat doing now?
Everybody please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll call meeting order. Roll call.
Mayor Westby.
Yes.
Over.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hahn.
Yes.
Boltman.
Yes.
Reese.
Yes.
Do we have anybody here for public forum? Consent agenda, any additions?
No, you saw the few extra bills there.
Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Boltman.
Yes.
Over.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Tom.
Yes.
Reese.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna go on to the proposals for the acquisition of 413 Main. We're gonna take them in the order that they're in the council packet. Jim Barnes will be first.
Which is just alphabetically, so
Yes.
we'll go alphabetically.
If you wanna explain what you wanna do, please stand by the podium so we can hear.
Oh, okay.
The way the people on Zoom can hear you.
The people on Zoom?
Yeah.
There you are.
Well, we already have a business, but we would like to expand our business, and we also thought of putting an apartment in the back for some income housing for what we do. That's pretty much it. I mean, you know, we just want to expand the shop we have. It's a sandwich shop. Some of you have eaten there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much what we'd like to do.
So the bakery just isn't large enough, is that what you're?
There's really not enough room. We don't have room for freezers and ice boxes and everything, because there's just too much other stuff in there. You know, so we have to go between, we have two other houses and we have freezers and stuff in those. We have to go between all the houses to get all the stuff to go to the shop all the time, so that's why we're trying to expand the business, get it a little bigger.
So what do you, the inside of it, are you just going to use the current structure, or?
We're gonna use the front third and make the back 2/3 an apartment for rental.
And you're gonna make the windows smaller? What size will they be?
Just to match the ones that are currently on Main Street. The same sizes, like AJ's and that. Just to go with something like that, and a more insulated window and some that aren't all fogged over. Because they all have to be changed out.
Right.
So, you know,
That's a shame, because then we put them windows in when we had TJ's, and them are triple pane windows. They were high price windows.
yeah, they're just,
I know, they're shot. I can't quite understand it.
I don't know either, but, you know, all that stuff has to be changed out.
Yeah, I think the guarantee's up.
I think it probably is.
Yeah.
I don't think they put it in my name anyway.
Well, the roof could be, I don't know about that, that's a lifetime roof. And I give it to Candy, what's her name? Candy Cleveland. And she has the papers for that,
Okay.
but I don't know. You'd have to call them, they're out of,
Well, I'm sure if there's a roof problem down the road, you know.
it's never had a
We'll have to deal with
roof
it.
problem as far as I know. We
Yes.
sprayed that on quite a few years.
Those are unforeseen things, you know, that come along with ownership. That's one of the perks. So that's our goal, to expand our business, make it a little bigger, but we don't really need the whole thing to operate the business. That's why we wanted to put some income housing in the back. Because I've heard y'all say that we need more rental properties.
Right.
So we had the epiphany that we could help with that. So that's where we're at. I mean, it's,
Anybody have any more questions for Jim? Thank you, sir.
okay.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, thank you. Next one is Megan, you're up. You want to tell us your plan?
Yes, okay. So I'm a physical therapist and I would like to start my own private practice in Lakeview. With the building that's there, I would need a lot more space, so I would probably tear it down and extend it back. And then I also thought about adding apartments on top for myself, and then if there's enough room, maybe an additional one for some additional income and just additional housing in Lakeview. But, so I would treat all ages. I would partner with some of the local chiropractors, nurse practitioners and PAs in the area. I know a lot of the local people right now go to Carroll. I did a clinical there, and there's a lot of local people going there for their physical therapy, although Storm Lake, I know. So thought it'd be nice to bring something a little closer. When I come home too, I know there's a lot of like students that come to me and they want to know more about physical therapy, and they're like, oh, I'm lacking shadowing hours and stuff, so I also want to be able to like give that back to the students and stuff, like allow them to come in and learn some more about physical therapy, get some hours in for their school. Also though, with the school, I want to like help with the sports team. I know sometimes they lack like sideline coverage, so I like fill in with that, but then there's a lot of athletes that also go to Carroll for some like sports specific training, and I want to give some of that to them as well. Other things, I just want to give back to the community and like make it help with the health of the community as well. I know there are some like older adults that would like to exercise but need more education and stuff, so maybe some like physical therapy, pre-screening and all that stuff as well. Those are kind of my thoughts right now.
Did you have someone look at the structure of, you know, about tearing it down and what kind of an issue that would be?
Yeah, so my brother went to school for construction, and then my dad knows a lot about construction too. They work a lot with Kevin Schmidt in town. So they actually did a walkthrough on that, and they said it's like doable. Like I'd obviously have to keep like the basement and everything like that, but from what they just looked at just by doing like a walkthrough, they said that it's doable.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have a description of about what the new construction might be or might look like?
I've like drawn up a couple rough drafts, but I need to talk to my brother and stuff more about it because I'm not educated in that at all. But I would extend it, so it's like 26 by 60 right now, is that correct?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then to the sidewalk, was that 120, I think is what you said,
I
or
think it's
100?
Yep, I think it's 120 feet deep.
100 feet?
I believe it's
Yeah, so
120,
I would want to extend it back to like 26 by 90, something like that, just to get more space in there, because I'm going to have like a lot of equipment that I want in there for like sports and treadmills and mat tables, and then I'll need like treatment rooms, that kind of stuff.
All right.
Anybody have any questions for Megan?
And this timeline you have, is that pretty much in stone that you could, completion date, I should
Say that
say?
again?
The timeline
The
you
timeline.
have.
Is that
on,
timeline
I would start the tear down next spring, and then hopefully have the business up and running by the fall.
Anybody else? Thank you, Megan.
Thanks, Megan.
Yep.
We'll
Thank
move on to
you.
the next one. Sharon, you must be up. Hannah.
She elected me. So, ours that we have been proposing is multifaceted, comes with affordable home furnishings, not only for year-round but also seasonal. Also with a space for a specialty coffee bar and small sort of like baked goods, small selection of treats. And then we also would like to put in a area for local people that have merchandise to go in and sell their products at a brick and mortar rather than out of their home or whatever some people are doing now, as well as some boutique products. So multiple different things in the store. This is not only myself, it's also my mom sitting back there, but also both of my siblings and their spouse, so Brandon and Amanda Miller. Amanda's on Zoom today, and then my sister Rachel and her husband Dave with that. So similar to what Jim was already talking about, we want to completely gut the inside, take down the current sheetrock. As most of you know, there's a lot of water damage currently in there, so we want to get rid of most of the stuff on the inside to deal with mold mitigation, as well as sealing off the roof or figuring out where the leak is coming from, redoing the front facade of the building, replacing the windows, because unfortunately they aren't very functional right now, as well as replacing the flooring. The subfloor in the back has to be completely redone because it is sinking, but all of those details are listed in the packets that you guys have.
Perfect.
Your proposal is extensive, detailed, that's nice, thank you for that. Your estimated cost is $30,000 to $40,000.
Yeah, so.
Did you get where did you come up with that figure?
So we had a couple of things kind of estimated just off of numbers that we gave to contractors.
Okay.
But that is anticipating, having to take down the current sheetrock, potentially the current plaster and lath, which is kind of expensive, and taking it down and getting rid of it. So we're hoping to be within that area. It would be nice to be under, obviously, but that's just what we're anticipating, to get the new subfloor in the back and
So did you have a contractor give you these figures, or you plan on doing this kind of yourself, and so you were just kind of?
Nope, so we had a few things priced out by a contractor, but most things will be done by outside contractors. I'm not qualified to do those things, so.
It just seemed kind of low, I thought.
Well, I think it's gonna be higher
Yeah,
than that.
we anticipate it.
50 probably.
Yeah.
when we get done.
Okay.
Any questions for Anna?
Describe the concept of this home furnishings business. You were describing it to me, and I kind of thought the concept was neat.
Yeah, so I don't know if any of you guys are familiar, but if you're not, you can go home and do some research as well. But if you look up any of these 3 stores that I'm about to name off, it's kind of somewhere in the same aspect. So there's a place in Manning called the Marketplace. There's a place in Coon Rapids that Amanda's very familiar with that is called the Brown Bag. And then there's also one in Ankeny, which obviously is a little different. It's in Ankeny, but it's the same concept. It's called Real Deals. And all of these places, they have everyday like home decor and furnishing. So just generic things that you would have on your TV console, your tables, your walls, things that people buy to decorate their house with, as well as seasonal things for the different holidays and such. I know the Marketplace in Manning also does specialty coffees, which they have a lot of traction throughout their business because of that, just because they're not only selling, home decor and furnishings, but they also have a large boutique, which we want to have a boutique as well, but the building that, we're proposing isn't going to allow us to have a huge selection of that stuff, but we want to make sure, or we're trying to get as many things in there for, people to have options to buy in Lakeview.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
This is a big deal for the city to do this. I'm wondering if the council would like to wait 2 weeks and think about it before we have a motion to approve one of the 3.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
It's a big deal.
Digest and.
Because we're thrilled to have all 3 of you,
Yes.
really. I mean, we really truly are, and at any time, we would be thrilled just to have any one proposal. So to have 3, it's gonna require a little thought, I think, on my.
The problem is all 3 are good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
And we'd like to see all 3 of them.
But I think the council would like a little time to think.
And with that being said, without speaking out of turn, we're also looking at maybe some other Main Street opportunities for us to maybe come up with a plan for another place, so just keep that in mind.
Other locations.
Well, if we come in last, keep us on the list.
We're gonna keep everybody on the list.
We're keeping everybody.
Everybody's on the list.
Yeah.
Trust me.
We appreciate everybody's efforts tonight.
Thank you.
We do,
Thank you.
definitely.
Hey,
Means a lot.
Mayor, one thing while we got folks on Zoom, and especially Amanda, because I needed to get a hold of Amanda anyway, so
Yes.
everybody can hear this announcement that we're gonna do community awards at the community club meeting next Monday night. And one of the community awards is going to be presented to Amanda Miller for all of her work with the Wheatland Fund up at school. So, anyway, I need to talk to you about that, Amanda, and see if there's some way that we can ideally get you here for a Monday evening meeting, but otherwise we might get you to Zoom in again if you can. Monday, and it'd be around 5:30.
No, I think I can be available, so as long as it doesn't snow.
That'd be great, we'd like to have you here.
It would be great, because, yeah, a lot of people would like to acknowledge your work with that, and it's a really good deal.
I appreciate that very much, everybody.
Yep, you bet.
Again, thanks everybody for your proposals. Okay, we have to work on our annual financial report.
Yes, and so that's on page 12, and that is...
You guys don't have to stay.
Okay, we can go.
That's exciting stuff, though.
You're welcome to stay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, you will.
Thanks,
We'll
Megan.
we'll be in
Thanks,
touch and figure on 2 weeks from now.
I'll see you around town, but this will be quick.
Misery loves company.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyway, this financial report, this is the cover sheet of the financial report that's submitted to the state, and this is the same one then that was reviewed by the auditor when she was here, and it's recommended for approval. It'll be in the paper tomorrow.
You have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Who wants to be the second?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Moller,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wolfman,
Yes.
Reese.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, the annual urban renewal report.
Yes, it's another one of those that we need to submit to this is a recap of our activity. We need to submit this to the state every year.
You have a motion to approve that, 2049.
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Can I ask a question here?
Yes.
So the 386, is that the expenditures?
That is a balance, that is a credit balance, credit of the outstanding liabilities against the account. So stuff yet to be paid, but we still have that credit balance.
So the 386 is stuff to be paid, and is that shown somewhere else?
No, it's hard to tie back. That I'll show you that on that spreadsheet, that details the ins and outs.
Okay, I'd like that.
Roll call.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Moller,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Wolfman,
Yes.
Tom.
Yes.
Okay, we have to renew our Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance.
Yeah, I would just tell you that the rate would go up 1.13%. Just looks to be a very good renewal of our health insurance policy.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve that before it goes up.
Because election day is tomorrow, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a second?
Good point, Dave.
Roll call.
Wolfman,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Moller,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
Tom.
Yes.
Okay, we have an estimate for Camp Crescent project.
Yeah, this would be pay estimate number 1 to 10 point for the 83,565. Just knowing that this is mainly for the sewer work, and the sewer work is essentially done down there. Now here's an update from 10 Point. They called today, and they're getting sidetracked on a couple of other jobs, and it's very likely that it will be at least mid-November if they would come back here, and by then weather's really, really questionable, and you just kind of should more expect, I think, that they would come in and finish the project in the spring.
So getting any work done on that West Street down there towards Ruth, and that is off the charts?
Well, no, because they would still come take a look at it. They'd like us to find other contractors to take a look at it too, but that would at least be a small fill-in job that potentially could happen.
To do what now?
Well, the water retains on West Street down in front of Ruth Green, kind of then going that way.
It's a good place to wash bus tires.
Well, you go tell those people that.
Yeah.
They're not too happy
two
about it.
spots.
Rick Nelson has a spot too that needs to be fixed.
Yeah,
And you know what has happened over the years is, and it's got worse over the past recent years, is just that tree roots have forced up the curb and gutter in that area, and it doesn't drain. And we got the chance to fix that problem there with just replacing segments of the curb and gutter.
right, and then at Rick's too,
Same.
is that the same
Yeah.
problem? So you're saying that what, you're gonna try to get 10 Point, or we need to look for other contractors?
Both. We'll still work with 10
And
Point,
is-
but I can try to see who else is out there, because it is getting late in the game.
10 Point does do a good job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll have an update at that? Or- Okay. It just, if we get into spring, I mean, and I realize we may have to, but I think those residents deserve some kind of a response.
Need a motion to approve that?
Yes.
So moved.
Second,
I'll second it.
roll call.
Muller,
Yes.
Stanky,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Boltman,
Yes.
Reese.
Yes.
Before we go any further, Chief, do you want to introduce your guy?
I sure do.
Oh, sorry.
This is Colin Johnson. He will be our new officer. I think I've been here for about a month already, and you know, the process went fairly quick as in getting a new officer in here. But you know, after all the time that I've spent looking and trying to figure out what's best for our city, I think Colin's going to be a great fit here. Nice young kid, comes from a great family, and I'm super excited to have him on the department.
So,
Wonderful.
so can you give us the time plan?
Sure. So time plan is going to go. There's two opportunities to send him to the short academy because he does have an associate's degree, and he will be getting his other degree here shortly. Also, we have the ability to send him through what's called a short academy, and that would be in Sioux City. We have the opportunity to do that possibly in March or in September. Right now I'm looking at the September date. That way it's not during the summertime when we need as many people as we possibly can. He will be able to work and he will, there's certain things, kind of like what there's certain things I can't do right now. But the same will go for him because he won't be certified and have his stuff. Mine is hopefully we're way well ahead of schedule on my certification stuff, but we will be working on getting his done and taken care of.
So he will be full-time
Starting.
Tomorrow.
starting.
Oh,
Well,
well, that's good.
we were
I was
thinking
wondering about
hopefully
that.
yesterday, but, you
So
know.
tomorrow, yes, tomorrow he'll be full-time, but now he's gonna go through an extension training with me, especially probably for the next 2 months. And we'll get him up to speed on a bunch of stuff. And we're gonna take our time, make sure he does everything correctly, make sure we do everything correctly with ILEA, and their standards.
That's good.
So then we'll have 2 full-time officers plus you? That'll
Correct.
be the status of the police department?
Who's the other one though?
Who's the other?
Brad.
Brad.
Oh,
Yes, I mean, me, Brad, and Colin.
And we have some part-timers still?
We do. And one reserve.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard. Thank you. Well, not yet.
Yeah, pretty close.
Tomorrow.
I make a motion to
Tomorrow with
approve 2050.
Told you.
I'll
Second,
second.
roll call, 2050.
Okay, Boltman,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Muller,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
before we move on from that too much though, if I can get Dave involved just a little bit on that agreement, just knowing that we had Dave take a look at that and kind of tighten up a few things here, especially as regards to repayment.
Thank you,
So,
Dave.
I learned a lot from the first one.
We all
So
did.
did we.
We all did.
So yeah, you see that this agreement is actually it's a four-year agreement, and repayments at 100% through 4 years.
Also make a motion, we approve 2051.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Bolton,
Yes.
Mulder,
Yes.
Stanky,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Reese.
Yes.
Now welcome aboard.
Now you're hired. Oh, official.
I told you it's gonna be tough.
See you at 5 AM.
With donuts.
Bye, somebody.
Okay, 2052 is our caliber agreement. I bet Dave has something to share with us on that.
Well, what we did was drafted up the agreement. This is pretty much in the same format that I presented at the last two meetings with the changes that we discussed. And at this point, then they attached the various documents that are going to become part of the agreement so that there are no further misunderstandings, hopefully. And they have gone ahead, they being Murr and Caliber have executed the agreement. And this is the sum and substance of what we've come up with over the past month or year, or whatever it's been. Are there any questions?
Just want to put it behind us, get it done.
I think that's the appropriate thing to do. I think this is going to be to everyone's benefit that's involved, and I think this will allow us to start work on those streets next year, which is, I think, pretty important.
Yes.
I do too. Get it out of here, get it done. I think we have passed this over long enough.
We have a motion on 2052,
So moved.
second,
Second.
roll call.
Mulder,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Bolton,
Yep.
Tom,
Yes.
Stanky.
No.
I would agree really, but
Motion carries. Need a motion to go into closed session?
Before you do that, John, I forgot to put a city administrator report on
Oh.
the agenda again, but I have a few things.
Okay,
I
let's do that.
thought we had another thing on there. I thought we had a new urban renewal zone.
We'll have that discussion.
I see. Okay.
bet.
Got it. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
It's Jimmy Stock parking. The pictures are there. And, so you see that Jimmy's been working on the concrete there and has the concrete for the building pretty much done. We'll, while the weather's nice this week, keep working on that driveway and the little parking slab next to it. Just the area that I circled there and it says remove to make green space. He would propose to put that the driveway and the one parking slab there to the right of it, and then remove those that other area for the asphalt, remove that and basically make that into green space there too. On the right side of that, he would actually install a little curb so that you won't be able to drive into his property.
What is the reason for the green space?
Making it appear more residential.
Yeah. Yeah, like he's gonna have that curb around there, and that's where he's gonna plant grass, so it looks, so it ain't all cement to the street.
I guess I don't see the point.
That's his money.
He just wants somewhere to park instead of in the driveway. He doesn't always have to go around in the back of the building to get in.
I don't see it
It's better than what we got
being a
now.
negative at all.
That's why I looked at it today, and I met him at the post office, and he wanted me to come down there and look, and all I could see is it's an improvement, it ain't gonna hurt the city any.
So I really just wanted to point out to the fact was that it'd be removing part of this asphalt, basically removing 2 parking spaces.
So the grass is gonna come clear out to where well, there isn't a sidewalk.
No, it comes to the curb, to the gutter line out there.
Yeah.
Because there's really a formed-in gutter out there right now where the water flows through the low spot. And that would continue to be the low spot where he would form the gutter with all of his concrete work too, and would meet up there.
But we're losing a parking space.
That's true.
And what is he gaining?
Looks.
It is green space.
More of a cosmetic thing.
Right.
And the notion of not having people park in front of his house all the time.
I think he wants to define the driveway so people don't use it for a parking place.
Right. I think it's a good thing, it's not gonna hurt anybody or.
That's what I told him, I said, I don't know about, but in my end, that's what I said. It make it look better, definitely won't make it worse.
I guess I had intended this to be informational and that it was gonna follow through. Is it everybody basically on board?
I don't know that I'm against it, I just didn't know anything about it until I got here, and I'm looking at losing a parking space and trying to figure out. So it's not going to take, the green space isn't gonna take the whole width of his building?
It'll be, you know, when you think about his driveway and green space, that would take up the entire width of his building. Okay,
It's good.
okay,
I'd like to make a motion, we go through it.
I say it's just informational. You can do that.
It's not on the agenda.
It's not on the agenda.
He just wants to pour it before it gets warm.
Well, I know.
Yeah, right.
I can see where he's coming from, you
Yep.
know. Days are getting numbered.
It'll be fine.
A little discussion about the lagoon. And I told everybody about this, what we thought to be another leak on the west side of the south berm. I was out there right away this morning and it was much better. It had dried up significantly. Whitey and I were out there early afternoon and it is much better. It's largely dried up because what we're doing is any of the effluent that goes all the way through the plant and comes through the sagger gets pumped from that holding pit after the sagger back to cell number 1. We have got nothing going to the creek right now. Okay. And this pump that was going back, while that was running, we were having these leak problems. They didn't run it over the weekend because it was potentially too cold and it would freeze. So it hadn't ran over the weekend, and today we had to put an extension on it so it goes down a little bit further into the lagoon before it dumps. And like I say, it's not really wet there in that area.
Is
so
that the
we'll
plan to
see
keep running it back into cell 1?
Yes, I guess just because you need to understand this too about the operations of the sagger. That the sagger system removes ammonia nitrogens from that. Okay, so you got the bugs in there that are eating the ammonia nitrogen. Right now, there's no significant ammonia nitrogen in the sewage, and there's no significant, of course, ammonia nitrogen in the effluent from the sagger. Okay, there's nothing in there to feed the bugs. So we actually are putting in ammonia to feed the bugs in there and get the bugs populated. And that actually starts tomorrow. Then we will start to do this. We're putting in ammonia chloride to be feeding the bugs.
And we're still a ways away from having our lagoons filled, right?
You know, there are several feet left to fill on that south lagoon, and our flows are really, really low. Something less than 100,000 gallons going in there now, and it's gonna take a long time to fill that yet. And we really won't know know whether the leak is there or not until they keep filling the lagoon.
So why was it leaking before and it's not leaking now? Because we didn't have more in there then, did we?
I think it has something to do with that pump. The pump had just been dumping right over the brink of the berm. And whether it was went basically straight down into that pipe trench again or whatnot. That's just speculation. But all that we know is we didn't pump over the weekend and it dried up.
So is our engineer taking a look at that, or?
Yeah, so that's I guess that's the one thing to comment on this, is that we have a meeting set up, then it'll be 10 o'clock on Wednesday, and it'll be at the lagoon site. You're welcome to attend with the contractor and with Bean Street Kim.
No, I won't be able to do that.
And,
So who is going to be there from Beamster?
Todd Pennington for sure, and then Bob Beanster is supposed to be there. Bob was coming back from California today to confirm, but Bob's supposed to be there.
Good.
You gonna be there?
Yep.
Cause I have to be in Fort Dodge at 11, so I don't think I can do that.
I got to drive bus at 10:30, so.
But I regret it, cause I would like
I'll
to
be
be there.
working.
So Whitey has
I
to
do,
carry the
just-
torch like he does a lot of times, but
Just a couple other things. Did you see that note about electric transmission fees?
yep.
And that's just one of the issues. Truthfully, I guess it's out of our control. You know, we have a contract about how we buy wholesale power from MEAN, from Municipal Energy Agency of Nebraska. It's a constant cost of how we buy power, but transmission's just a pass-through. And this transmission comes from Mid-America, and it's just a pass-through. Does anticipate, that number was about a $24,000 a year increase in our wholesale power costs.
So what's the reason for doing it? Did they give a reason, or don't they have to give a reason, or?
Well, the reason revolves around providing additional transmission for the windmills, is basically. What is it, building additional transmission so
So it's
that they
gonna
can...
cost us to have the windmills.
Yeah, we end up paying for a system-wide transmission upgrade.
Can't beat that. Good grief.
This is one of those things, yeah, it really bugs you, that
Keeps it cooler in the summer.
they're forever going, aren't they?
Keep the mosquitoes
It's,
away.
it's just one of those things where,
We
yeah,
don't,
we end
don't
up
get
paying...
electric from them, but we gotta pay for them.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Oh, in
Um,
this world it probably does.
We sold our golf cart for the old Camp Crescent golf cart. Gus Cleveland was the high bidder on that for $777. Camp Crescent staffing for the applications for manager are due next Monday. I'd like to be able to interview folks then next week. I'm looking for 1 or 2 people to sit in on an interview committee with me.
I'll be there. Need some council.
Well, I'm gonna try to be there. Next week is the worst week for me, but, well, I don't know if it's the worst, but, so I guess I will try to be there, since I've been gung-ho about this. How many applications do we have?
Right now, one.
One?
And another one out there, and then there'll be another one out there. And then I anticipate at least 3.
Okay. So you're gonna set something up?
I will.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be first part of next week before we set that stuff up.
Okay.
Anybody else interested in being on the committee? Going once, going twice?
Jump on.
I'll do it if they need another one.
Buddy will be there.
You do the lagoon, I'll
Sac County League meeting will be next Thursday, and I told you it's over in Auburn. I guess that has changed, that Auburn is choosing not to host in there, and they would look for other communities who are willing to host. And I understand we've been volunteered already.
Yes, we
That's what
have.
I understood, that we're doing it.
The 12th, Thursday, the 12th, and we'll get things set up out to Docket.
I don't think I'll be there.
Because it's the annual auction.
Not this
Oh.
one, this one,
Oh.
not SAC.
Oh,
This,
that's
we
why
got,
it was late, yeah.
some
That's
have
the
to
next one.
come up with a program, I suppose. But the other meeting is Northwest Iowa League meeting, and that is their annual scholarship auction. Sac City's gonna host that on Thursday, the 19th. And that'll be up at Catalan's.
What time's that start?
Social times at 5 with dinner at 6.
I don't think I'll be at either one of those this month.
you can just send your check. That would be just fine.
I'm gonna try to make the 12th, Sac County one. I won't be able to make the other one though, it's too early. I won't be back in town.
I don't know yet.
Maybe for the 12th,
I don't know for sure. I'll call you.
okay.
Within a couple days.
Well, if I can make it, it's in time.
Very good.
Times ain't very good there.
I'll make both of them.
They got me driving.
Trying to get from,
Drive about 8 hours a
just
day.
wondering.
I can go to one.
And usually when I get out.
Okay, we need a motion to go into closed session. Second,
There you go.
we get a second.
Second, I'll second it.
Roll call.
Bolton? Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Reese?
Yes.
Muller?
Yes.